Again. Oh, here we go. Hello, and welcome to today's Real Women, Real Purpose talk show live in the On Purpose Woman magazine and global community Facebook page. I am Catherine Yarbrough. I'm your host today, and I am here with three amazing women. Now, you may be wondering about Abigail because it looks like she's driving. Well, she is. Abigail Tiefenthaler was so happy to be on this show with us that she said no matter what, she was going to be here, even if she had to do it while she was driving her car. So please forgive her if she doesn't look at the camera when she's talking to us, because I said, Abigail, be safe. Now, we are also here with the wonderful Jenny Robertson and Amanda Schwartz. So you're going to be finding out more about each of these beautiful women in just a few minutes. I invited them here onto this Real Women, Real Purpose talk show today because on December 2nd, they are my guest speakers at the Vibrant Entrepreneurs Online event, where we're going to be spending the whole 4 hours, December 2nd, Friday, from 1 to 5 Eastern, talking about 5 ways to attract clients. And each of these amazing women are going to be sharing their wisdom. We're going to be going into breakout rooms. We're going to have a wonderful time. So if nothing else, I invite you to go over to the webpage for it and check it out and see if you want to sign up for just $27 at manifestingclientsacademy.com/event. But you may need to hear from these wonderful women first before you do that. So let's find out a little bit about who they are. We're each going to share a little bit about who we are. Then we're each going to share a little personal story related to our topic. And then we're going to chat for a few minutes, depending on how much time we have. So Miss Jenny Robertson, will you start us off with sharing a little bit about you?
I will start us off. I am Jenny Robertson, and I am the other co-host of the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show with Catherine. And I'm also the founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and the founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. And I provide women entrepreneurs opportunities for deep connection, more visibility, and to become more comfortable playing a bigger role on the planet. Everything that I do offers women opportunities to be seen and heard so that you can share your gifts and make your unique difference. I do this through the On Purpose Woman Global Community, where you can show up and be seen there. You can speak if you're a great speaker, and also through the magazine where you can advertise, write, be our cover artist, or be on the Woman Talk Live talk show. Glad to be here, Catherine. Thanks.
I am so glad that you're here. Jenny is one of my good friends and colleagues. I've known her for approximately 21 years, and I love and adore her. And if you haven't gotten to know her, I am thinking you might love and adore her too as you get to know her. All right, now let's hear from the wonderful Amanda Schwartz. Please tell us about you, Amanda.
I really appreciate that, and I appreciate being here. Thank you so much. So yes, I'm Amanda Schwartz, and my business is Mended Digital. I became frustrated with the barriers of entry for small businesses and entrepreneurs who feel like building or even managing a great website is akin to a second job that they never wanted, so I decided to do something about it. I believe that your focus should be on your work and not on trying to figure out WordPress or piecing together a logo or attempting to integrate MailChimp, or maybe worse, trying to hunt down a vendor who left you cold with a site that you don't know how to manage. I love translating what you do into fully developed web presences. And if you need help with graphics, writing, strategy, I do all of that too. We might even have some fun. As my business name implies, I'm a fixer, and I love stitching it all together and making you look great. So that's Mended Digital. And again, thanks for having me.
I am glad you're here. So yay, Amanda is here. Mended Digital. I find that name very interesting and funky. And I'm glad that you explain it because now I understand it better and where it came from. And y'all, I may have to sneeze in just a second. So, I never see people sneeze on these kind of things, but it's a human thing. Who knew that could happen? I could have tried to click the link to hide myself, but what the heck, here I am. And so I'm so delighted that Amanda's here with us. Amanda did the On Purpose Woman Global Community webpage, OPWGC. I think she did .com, opwgc.com. I think she did a fabulous job. And I always love Amanda's grounded realness when she shows up and I get to talk to her. So when she said yes to being a guest, I was like, yay! So Abigail, are you up for telling us a little bit about you?
I am. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. And, here's the thing. It's called Real Women, right? So we sneeze, we drive, we do lots of things that make us real women. It's real life. I'm Abigail Tiefenthaler, co-founder of Savvy Sales Strategy. My business partner is Tammy Korea. She's in Minnesota and I'm in Greenville, Tennessee. And we take our 40 years each of marketing experience and bring it to the coaching, speaking, professional services arena to help our clients really create a clear path to their clients. And we do that by fixing or identifying the missing piece to their marketing puzzle. Like Amanda said, most clients don't really want to spend their time being full-time marketers. And we approach marketing in a very traditional way. What's the problem and how do we fix it? So we don't have any one solution for any one client. Our goal is to create the clearest path for them. And so that's what we do.
Thank you so much, Abigail. I love that your goal is to create the clearest path for each individual client and to be individualized with what you do rather than everybody does it the same way. There's obviously systems there's concepts that probably apply to most of us, but how does each of us do it? And so it's great that you're doing that. And, I was thrilled when Abigail said yes, because I think she brings wisdom and experience about marketing that is useful for all of us. So I'm really looking forward to hearing more from Abigail. And for those of you who may not know me, I'm Catherine Yarbrough. I live in Central Florida. I am a vibrant speaker, coach, and manifesting clients mentor. I run the Manifesting Clients Academy and the new Vibrant Entrepreneurs Circle, where I provide training, community, and feedback for my wonderful women entrepreneurs who want to be authentically vibrant, impactful, and engaging speakers who actually attract clients. So I'm loving what I'm doing these days. And I am wanting on a regular basis to do events like the upcoming Vibrant Entrepreneurs online event where there will be guest speakers. And this is my pilot Vibrant Entrepreneurs online event. So if you get a chance, be sure to reach out to Jenny, Amanda, and Abigail and thank them for me if you feel inspired to. But otherwise, be sure to show up on December 2nd. I'll tell you the website again. It's manifestingclientsacademy.com/event, and it's only $27 to join us. So now we are going to hear a little bit more from all of us about a personal experience related to our topic that we'll be talking about on December 2nd. And we'll see what everybody has to say. So Jenny is going to go first. Her topic is how to network to build relationships. Selling comes later. So Jenny, what do you want to tell us about?
Thank you, Catherine. I was thinking about what I wanted to share and was looking for a more recent example, but the greatest one I can come up with actually happened in 2003. I'd created the On Purpose Woman Global Community in 2000. And in early 2003, or about mid 2003, I got this wacky idea that I wanted to do a magazine. My son had just married a young woman who had graduated with a degree in graphic design. And I said, if I gave you articles and ads, do you know how to make a magazine out of it? And her eyes lit up and she goes, oh, I love things like that. I worked on my college and literary paper and so forth. So we started finding out some things, but we still had no idea what we were doing. The reason I tell you this story is on the day that that magazine showed up in my driveway with thousands of copies, it was full of great articles and ads. The women in my community stepped up and they wanted to write, and they also placed ads. And they placed ads having never seen a mock-up. We didn't do a mock-up. We didn't know to do a mock-up. We just did it, and we were profitable that first out of the gate. And my message there is don't wait till you need a network or a community to start building one.
So I didn't mean to bring you back to the four squares to shut you up. I did it because I wanted to clap that y'all did this and you had advertisers. I'm like, because that is a kind of nonverbal cue. And Jenny is very good listener non-verbally that to bring back to. So is there more? I'm like, wow, you had advertisers for the first issue. Let's celebrate that. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about that before
It
we
was
move?
because they trusted me. They trusted the relationships we built. They trusted, it wasn't a huge investment if we'd gone belly up with it, you know, but still they showed up, and most of them didn't know what they were doing either. Some of them had never placed an ad before. You know, that first issue, I still have a copy of it. It was sweet. You know, 18 different size ads, you know, just whatever would fit the way they did it is how we did it. And but yeah, it was just so empowering and affirming to me that I was on the right track.
Oh, and that all came from networking first.
It all came from networking first. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. And for those of you who may not know, there is currently an online version of that magazine, and you can go to opwgc.com/magazine and check it out. So yes, absolutely. So my friends, I'm going to share briefly here about a personal story related to how to use Facebook Lives to invite people to your website. And I used to not use Facebook Lives consistently. Let me see if I can pin me here, spotlight me. I'll do that since I'm doing it for y'all. So I used to not use Facebook Lives consistently. I would sporadically use them, and I would think to myself, I don't know if they're working. I wouldn't get very many people to watch them. I feel sort of about them. And then this past year, when I got the download that I learned that and realized that I could help other women entrepreneurs be authentically vibrant when they speak, I thought, well, let me be a little more intentional with these Facebook Lives. And it has blown me away at the response to my consistent Facebook Lives. And I say that because I do one on Monday. I call it a Monday Minute Message. And I've got a little smirk on my face right now because I forgot to do it yesterday. I mean, I was getting ready for this. I had this whole other thing, but I've been pretty consistent with that Monday Minute Message. And what I'm finding is that people are really enjoying it. They're commenting. I share it in a few places. And I have had people I've had one woman for sure who didn't know me from anywhere else but Facebook and end up going to my website and booking a complimentary consultation and then buying a $900 package to work with me. So Facebook Lives help your people come to know, like, and trust you, or help people. And then if they're interested in what you have to say, if you let them know what your URL is in those lives, they'll go check you out on your website. So it's pretty exciting to me. And I've been enjoying playing with Facebook Lives. And I think it's a useful thing useful for me. And I think it's useful for a lot of us women entrepreneurs to be more intentional with it. So that's my story. And now we're going to talk about your website. Actually, Amanda's going to share a personal story about her experience with attracting clients related to how to make your website client friendly. Amanda.
Oh, there's so many different ways I can go. It's kind of two different pockets in terms of a personal story and what to do to make yourself more user friendly. I think what's important with a website is that you need to answer your potential clients' questions. It's the most important thing you can possibly do, both from the perspective of just being clear about what you do and for SEO, because the SEO rules are always changing. They have an algorithm one day, they change it to something else the next. Then you want your plan to be somewhat bulletproof. So keeping in mind, being really forthcoming in what you do, having a good idea of how to express that and to make sure it's all up there and easily found is very important. Speaking of easily found, which was really weird to me, out of nowhere, I got a referral. And he came clear out of left field from Texas. I'm in Ohio currently. Most of my client base is in on the East Coast. And it was because I had left my link on another website that I had designed for a similar business. And I think it's important for people to be intentional with sticking the course when it comes to promoting their websites that they've spent time on, making sure that they do leave those tags in specific places, because you never really know where someone's going to see something, where they're going to be impressed with something. So if you are networking on Facebook, make sure you've got that website on there. Make sure that there is a consistent place where they can find you. Because as we've seen with Twitter, that's not always consistent. Facebook is great. It's a great tool, but it's not always consistent. You want to make sure that you have that footprint on the web that people can come back to anytime they know who you are, they know what you are, and they know how to get in contact with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Amanda. And I love that you say that the website is for our clients. I have new entrepreneurs often, and the new entrepreneur will like to create like a website that's just about what they want to say. And you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And I say, well, you can do that. And then you may want to go back in a few years and create a new website that's all about your clients, because sometimes in the beginning, people don't know who their clients are, and that's okay too. So we all do the very best we can at the time that we're doing it. And then the entrepreneurial journey allows us to keep evolving and adapting and learning and growing. And so I love that. But thank you for your wisdom about websites. May we all do a good job with them. Seriously. Yeah. Okay. So, my friends, we've got one more wonderful guest here, and then I'll be back. So, Abigail's going to get to tell us a personal experience, possibly with attracting clients relating to get your clients to say yes. Abigail, are you ready?
Yes, yes, of course. I'm always ready. I love the word yes, so why not? But and here's the thing. Like Ginny, I'm trying to think of a current story, and I don't do a lot of the sales for our business, so I get a chance. But I do stay connected because we do sales for some of our clients. One of the things we offer are fractional closers for our coaches who don't want to do their own closing. But I'm going to go back to one of my days before the internet, when I called on a pharmaceutical company for 52 weeks. And I called every single Wednesday, and I spoke with the secretary of, to the vice president of marketing. And I would call, and, we got to know each other, obviously. And, the client I wanted to talk to, the prospect I wanted to talk to, was never available. And finally, on the 52nd attempt, the secretary said to me, yes, Barbara wants to schedule a meeting with you. And innocently, I responded with, no, I think you have me confused with somebody else, because I was so expecting the no. And as a result, I brought the largest project into the agency that the agency had seen that year, which was a good high six-figure project, and actually was able to give my dad some more, because I grew up in the industry, and my dad worked until he retired from working for me in the early 2000s. So I was able to make a lot of family very happy from this one project. And, that's, I think what I will tell you is that getting a client to yes has nothing to do with your timing, but everything to do with your prospect's timing. And so the question, and I think we'll discuss this a little more on December 2nd, is, to your point, Catherine, and to Amanda's point, you must create with the prospect's needs in mind. Instead of telling people what you want to tell them, you need to understand what they need to hear and what they need to know and how they need to act. So, it's not a straight path. It's not a one and done. It's not a two and done. In this case, it was a 52 and done. And I've got another story of a client who took 4 years to say yes. So it's about being tenacious and consistent and persistent and being okay with the fact that they need to know what they need to know to be ready to say yes. So how do you make them ready to say yes? That's my story.
I love that. I love that, Abigail. How do you make them ready to say yes? And it can take the time it takes. And my heart breaks for new entrepreneurs who say, well, I had 2 conversations and one of them is saying that they might get my package. And I'm over here going, well, might get your package could be in a year or 2 when they're ready. And it's so hard when we're just for people who are just getting started to understand that. And there are actually things that I teach to help people move that along if they can, to incentivize whatever I'm trying to.
Incentivize them.
Yeah. For some people in some situations.
And here's the thing, this is why marketing is such a critical part of the client getting puzzle. And you can't skip it. You can't shorten it. It is all about, it's the people mover of your business. And I wish more entrepreneurs understood that. Marketing is not sales, sales is not marketing. And to be able to say, what does my client really need to know? How do they need to know me to move forward? So
beautiful.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for all of that wisdom. So my friends, I'm going to share one more little story and then we'll see what time we have. We'll have a few minutes probably for us to chat and respond to each other's stories and comments and ask a question of each other. So be thinking about that, y'all. My last presentation that I'll do on December 2nd at the Vibrant Entrepreneurs online event. Again, you can go to go to manifestingclientsacademy.com/event to get your ticket. It's only $27 for this wonderful event. And you'll get to network and start or keep going with building relationships with people so that you can get into that process, whether the people you meet are potential clients, like we're talking about here, or someone who down the road you may want to do some sort of partnership with. Because I can tell you that's what happened with all 3 of these ladies is I got to know them through networking and thought they would be great people for this wonderful event. That took time to get to know them. So anyhow, this last topic is, let me read it correctly for you. Somehow or other, I deleted it on my document. So I'm going to tell you what I remember it is. It has something to do with writing a new story so that you attract clients, which is one of my very favorite things to talk about. If you know me, you know I talk about this all the time. If you've never met me, I have this really cool new story process where you take what you want, you turn it into an affirmation, you add in this means, and then you fill in the blank with as many things as you can come up with, painting the picture of what you want. We'll get to practice that on December 2nd. It's a great, great, great practice. I'll share with you what happened today. Actually, yesterday, I was on a couple of calls that left me feeling off. They weren't client calls. They were like follow-up from networking calls. And I ended up at the end of the day feeling less than. It's not a feeling I like. It's not one that I want to hang out in. And I just felt unmotivated and felt like, why should I try? Who cares? I'm not good enough. So I woke up this morning going, I got to do this thing at 2:00, this thing. And I'm thinking to myself, Catherine, come on. Well, I have a new story that begins with my business is thriving. And this means. And it means that I'm doing 6 to 10 private clients a week. It means that my Vibrant Entrepreneurs circle classes have 40 people in them. It means, or more, and it means that my events are full and thriving and robust and people are coming to them. And as I was saying this new story, because I'm in the practice of saying it and calling up the feeling, I started to feel that expansive, wonderful feeling that I'm feeling right now about my business and about attracting clients. And I shifted out of that icky funk back to this place where I was able to go to a networking event earlier today. I was able to show up fully prepared here for this and feel good. And I'm excited about my business again. And as anyone knows, as an entrepreneur, there are these ups and downs and all over the places. And we need to learn how to recuperate as quickly as possible so that we will stay in that attracting place. Because if we're in the, oh God, nobody wants me, or I'm not good enough, or blah, 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 I can promise we are not. No one is in the attracting place. Only there. So, my friends, join us on December 2nd for the Vibrant Entrepreneurs online event. And now we have a couple of minutes before I want to wrap up. Anybody have a question? Any of y'all have a question of each other? I'm going to check to see if anybody watching has a question or a comment. So go ahead and ask or say.
A question for Amanda.
Okay.
Amanda, if you could pick one thing that you believe with all your years of expertise is the biggest mistake someone makes with their website, do you have one?
One that comes to mind immediately is not telling the viewer or the reader what to do next.
Mm.
I think that not having a call to action of some kind is a missed opportunity. And it can be as simple as book an appointment with me, or, let's have a consultation, or, sign up for my email list and you'll get fill in the blank. I really think it's an easy way to establish another touch point. I think that people have a certain amount of touch points, usually around 6 or 7, they say, before they even get to your website or ready to do anything. And then when they get there and you don't give them the next step, all that hard work. So that would be my number one.
I love that. It totally goes along with what Abigail was saying too, is that we need to know what does the client need. And we need to tell them, at least in that perspective. We also need to ask questions. What do they need? There's that side of things. But in terms of the website, I love it. Cool. Any other, one more. Let's see if there's another question or comment or response back to what anybody's from us. Are y'all excited? Oh, Jenny's got a question. Let's
I
go.
just want to give a plug to Amanda, because when you go over there to look at the On Purpose Woman magazine and my website, which Catherine mentioned earlier, Amanda created my website, opwgc.com. So that will give you a good idea of Amanda's brilliance.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have to say something that really stuck with me with what Abigail was talking about was when she mentioned that the stuff that she does is traditional. And I think that the word traditional is so loaded, right? But I think is so important, because there are core things with marketing. They're so core and they are so important that people are just looking for the next hot thing. And especially now, the next hot thing implodes so quick, your head will spin. And the things that keep on coming back are those traditional. I hate using the word traditional because it just throws people's heads, but these are the pedestals for building out strategy and marketing. And I love that's what she leads with, because that's what you need to know. That's the important stuff. That's the meat and potatoes.
The good news is my job hasn't changed in 40 years. It's all of the implementation. So it's all of Tammy's side of the business where the algorithms come to play, and we've shifted. But we actually recommend in some cases with our clients that they use email, which, everybody says email is dead. It's not dead. We have gotten clients out of it, and our clients have gotten clients out of it. We use direct mail. We will often suggest that somebody work on speaking or networking, that they really focus on networking. And those are more traditional. I mean, we're not, somebody might be better off advertising in a magazine, to Ginny's point, Catherine's point, right? So the answer is always there. It's just oftentimes, like you said, that client is looking for, well, nobody does that anymore. And it is a paradigm shift. And sometimes the new stuff, the newfangled stuff can be really complicated, even though people say, and there's no plug and play, right? There's no plug and play in life. There's no plug and play in business. You will never work as hard as you will ever work as an entrepreneur. And we find a way. That's, was my father's motto. It's my motto. We do what we have to do to get what we want to have.
Mhm.
Right. So it is those traditional, the traditional strategy never changes, but the traditional media is often undervalued and overlooked because somebody wants something new, bright and shiny.
Yeah.
So
I love that. And so we each have to, as entrepreneurs, find the things that we use to do the traditional tasks, if you will, that work for us.
exactly.
And I have to say, this year in my world, LinkedIn has popped up to be the dream thing that everybody needs to do. I'm even over here, I'm on LinkedIn, but I don't use it. A non-LinkedIn person going, I need to get onto LinkedIn more often. Because there's been such a push for it this year. A year ago, I think it was Facebook groups. Maybe 2 years ago, it was Facebook Live. It's like every year there's some fad. Oh, and maybe in between there was Instagram, and then there's TikTok. It's like these fads. And so if we keep jumping to the next fad and don't use the tools that we like, that work for us consistently, then we end up just jumping around. So anyhow, this has been a fantastic conversation. Obviously, the four of us, once we got over that quiet period, we could probably keep going, but I am going to wrap this up. And I want to say thanks to the three of you for joining me today, and anyone who's watching us live or watching the replay. Post your questions or comments for sure. But thank you for joining us for this Real Women, Real Purpose talk show, live in the On Purpose Woman magazine and global community Facebook page. Now, on December 8th, Jenny Robertson is going to be back here. It's a Thursday on Real Women, Real Purpose talk show with me. And we'll be talking about how to attract clients with Facebook Lives. So if you happen to miss December 2nd, where I'll be talking about it there, you can tune into the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show. But if it's not one of those things that you want to use, please don't jump into Facebook Lives just because I'm saying it and it's what I think is great. Find your things. Anyhow, back to this. If you love this talk show, this experience on Real Women, Real Purpose talk show, and you want to share it with your friends, please do so straight from Facebook or wherever you're watching it, maybe on YouTube. However, if you go to YouTube and look at the replays, we have hundreds of interviews and presentations from real women who have real purpose. Go to On Purpose Woman Global Community on YouTube and check it out. Just find some inspiration if you're needing it. If you're having one of those funky days like I talked about, there's probably something there to help you. If you want to learn, there's something there. If you just want to open up to something new, a good feeling, then check it out. And I'll be back next time, and we'll see everybody on December 8th. Y'all ready to say bye? Bye, everybody.